Hey guys, welcome back to today's video and welcome to any new viewers. Today I'm going to be talking about the mental diet throughout your manifesting experience, how to actually implement and maintain your positive mindset, think from the news story in the right way, and implement a mental diet that is actually going to help you speed up your manifestation. So I'm going to get into all of this today and explain exactly what your mental diet should really be like, because I think it's a very easily neglected part of manifesting, but it's so important as well as for the longevity of your manifestations. So do keep watching to hear everything I have to advise you guys on today. As always, all my extra information and coaching services, everything, all the little extra things that you can get from me and one-to-one support will be popped on screen, including my brand new manifestation coaching group, which is my monthly membership, the LOA Coaching Darlings. A lot of it is the exact same as what you've already seen, but I have bumped it up with a lot of extra exclusive content to, justify a higher price point because I have increased the price. But you'll see you get so much extra content from me and a lot more control and input into what you're actually seeing, so that I am creating the content that you guys as members would want to see. So if you click the join button below, you should get a pop-up that tells you everything you get, and then you can sign up from there. It's really that simple. So yeah, you can sign up via my channel, take a look, or on my website if you just want the normal coaching services. But now let's start the video. So as you are on your way with your manifestation and looping your affirmations, working towards that end result in your reality, you should be prepared and be ready to see the 3D opposite. So if you are aware of your mental diet, how to implement it, and why you actually need to focus on a mental diet and what the benefits actually are, you'll know that being aware of what you think, how you react, just mentally where you're at, and day-to-day things that come up that are in a way uncontrollable, in the sense that we don't know, who's going to say what or what may happen. We're just kind of shaping the current circumstances in our reality. So just be ready that you may not see something that you like. Your SP may say something you don't like. Someone in your reality connected to your end result, like a boss or a friend, might also say or do something that you're not quite happy with. Even just getting triggered off something from social media, all of these little things that can just pop up throughout your day, you want to be ready to see the opposite. So not that you expect or focus on, oh yeah, everything's going to be horrible, everything's going to be difficult. I'm not saying that, but just be ready that something may come up, and then you understand how to handle it. Because as you're on your way, there will be, a couple of things maybe that are not favorable or that you don't particularly want to focus on or like. Even like I said, getting triggered by something as small as Instagram post or just anything you see on social media. It doesn't have to be your direct manifestation. All these little moments, they can add up and kind of hold you back or cause you to spiral or waver. So you just want to be aware and be prepared and know, kind of what you may expect along the way. So if you are prepared, as I said, just having your mental diet ready, knowing I'm going to flip the thoughts, I'm going to, not waver, I'm going to be aware of what triggers me, how I react to the best of my ability, turn that back around into the positive. So being prepared means that you're not engaging with the negative. You're not analyzing, you're not overthinking, you're not panicking or crying or spiraling. So sometimes these things can come up, but it is pretty simple to prevent and to avoid. So instead of spiraling and getting yourself panicked and feeling disappointed, you're going to know to immediately just apply your mental diet, look away, disengage, and start looping your affirmations, for example. As you're doing this and implementing it, as I said in the beginning of my video, it's not just about, ticking off the list that you've done a mental diet. It's about creating a positive mindset. It's going to help you long term. It definitely has shifted the way I think. And if you guys have been manifesting for a long time, you'll also know that, all these things, they build up more naturally. They just kind of pop into your mind quite naturally. So for me, a mental diet is a little bit easier. Obviously, I don't think perfectly, but, when certain things come up, I know to immediately say, no, that's not happening. Like with my parents, for example, they know that I manifest, they know obviously about my channel and everything. So with them, when, they say something, I can, sometimes if it's important, I can just say out loud, no, that's not the case, everything's perfect. And they know what I'm referring to. They know I'm not just being silly or ignoring what they say. They know I'm coming from a manifestation perspective. Usually I would do that in my mind. So that's an example. In your mind, with your thoughts, you can just say, nope, that's not the case, everything's great. my life is perfect, my life is perfect. Whatever it's relevant to, whatever the case may be, you can just immediately start flipping it around, and it teaches your mind not to catastrophize. So by being prepared and aware of the things that may come up, knowing that, this is quite normal, this could have come up, I'm prepared, okay, this has happened, it sucks, it's not great, but I know how to handle it with a mental diet. So you're going to prevent your mind and teach it not to catastrophize. It's not going to go to worst case scenario constantly. You're going to find it easier to detach from your current circumstances. So it is a habit and a practice and a skill, a type of mindset and way of looking at things, looking at the bright side of things, right? It is a skill, and it's something that builds up with consistency and practice, and teaching your mind to not immediately think from the negative and to not go to a negative story, to the old story with your manifestation, even if you've not previously experienced what you're currently manifesting, you have something to do with that. Even if it's a lack of having that in your life, there is something that you've already had a connection to. So you're teaching your mind just to not think from the negatives when it comes to that, and immediately jump to, the worst case. One of the reasons as well this is so important, and maybe you want to think about this, and with your mindset, if you think you've been struggling, wavering, had hot and cold results, this is a good question that I would pose to you guys for you to think about. Affirmations would be great, and obviously looping and consistency and repeating your affirmations, it is enough to manifest. But if you have struggled or you feel that you've been held back, what are you actually thinking the rest of the day? Because especially if you're not putting in a huge amount of time to mindlessly loop your affirmations or take in some kind of positive repetition, then what is the rest of your day filled with? Are you doubting? Are you reacting? Are you searching for movement and kind of trying to analyze and dig deeper into your 3D reality? Maybe it's someone's social media account. Maybe it's checking your emails constantly. But then you're just going to be reaffirming and telling your mind repetitively that I still don't have what I want. I'm checking for the movement. I'm checking if something has changed. I'm checking if it's come to me. But then a minute later, you're saying your affirmation, I already have this. So your mind's going to get a little bit confused. So just be aware and maybe think for yourself, have I actually been wavering a lot? Have I been, overreacting to things throughout my day? Is it something I could work towards? So the mental diet itself is actually going to help that. So if you're on a mental diet, you're not going to be spiraling or overthinking or doubting your manifestation. You're not going to be reading into the 3D circumstances, at least not as significantly or for as long a period of time, because your mind is going to learn to not go to that level, to immediately catch it and say, oh yeah, I'm on a mental diet, I'm meant to be flipping this. Oh yeah, here's another negative thought I caught. And one thing you can do, it can be as simple as looping your affirmations, consistency with the new story, consistency with the end result. That's your goal. But it can be something as simple as flipping it back around into a positive, and literally any type of thought that implies that your manifestation is here right now. So saying, I have everything I want. My specific person has conformed for me right now, whatever it might be, just something that implies you have your end result. So the simplest, most realistic response, reaction, and habit that you'll build up will probably be repeating your own affirmation. Sometimes I find that even for an affirmation I'm not meant to be saying, if I'm trying to work on something else, a couple of times I've caught myself repeating an affirmation that I work on predominantly. So my number one goal, I'll find myself just repeating that affirmation when I'm like, oh wait, well, I'm not supposed to be repeating that one right now. And it's like an automatic habit. So I know it can work. It's like second nature. Your mind and your body just immediately respond more positively and bring that up because it's something you've taught yourself to do. So more than likely you will find yourself, with your mind just going straight to your affirmation, usually in the form of a mental diet. If you really build up this practice, you will find that something triggers you and you'll know, even if it doesn't feel believable or perfect and you're still feeling panicked, your mind will definitely know, and you'll probably be reminded of, oh yeah, okay, let me just repeat my affirmation, or just immediately go into it like, I'm with SP, I have my dreams, whatever it may be, repeating your affirmation literally in that moment. It's going to prevent the delays in your manifestation. As I suggested, if you are struggling with this, then you're probably experiencing delays, hot and cold. You're getting impatient. Maybe you're questioning, what's going on. A mental diet is a really, really good solution for this. It's going to prevent delays because your mind isn't going to be wavering as much. Your mind will be way more focused and kind of streamlined into that one end result, like tunnel vision. So it comes down to being aware of your mental reactions and knowing that what triggers you, what, if possible, you can avoid, not engaging with it, not feeding into it, not analyzing what's going on. If your SP says a couple things here and there you don't like, you don't read into it and say, okay, they don't like me, they hate me because they said this. You don't think that way. You say, okay, whatever, they're conforming, but the 3D isn't showing it yet. That's fine. They're already in love with me. They're already texting me constantly. Everything is perfect. And I know, they're about to show me with their words as well. That's an excellent way of implementing a mental diet for that context. Because it's all about preventing the wavering, which is built up with consistency, and it's going to remove the delays. It's going to teach your mind to think in a far more positive way. So that is today's video. I hope you guys found this useful, and if you did, please do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Do consider becoming an LOA Coaching Darling if you want to go above and beyond with support for your manifestation, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!